Did you know every Middle Eastern household eats the same salad, or some form of it anyway? From Turkey to Iran to Egypt and Morocco, variations of this salad are served at every meal. Although similarly composed salads are made elsewhere, our technique makes these salads extra refreshing. Let's quickly make one and explain why it's so different. First, we chop up cucumbers and tomatoes into cubes as well as onions. Those are added to a bowl and they're dressed with lemon juice, vinegar, salt and pepper. The acids and salt draw out moisture from the vegetables and they quickly release loads of their water content, which becomes our salad dressing. Think of the liquid as a mixture of cucumber and tomato water that carries their cooling and refreshing flavours with them. We call this mayat salata or salad water, and we totally like to drink this stuff. The liquid dresses the salad in moisture and amplifies its refreshing flavours. The technique employed is pretty much the same technique used when making salsas. In contrast, most vinaigrettes add flavours which mask the subtle flavour of salad vegetables. Our salads allow the refreshing and cooling flavours to shine, which is a huge deal in hot countries and probably why these salads are so universal. Nearly every recipe for these salads combines cucumbers, tomatoes and onions, and other vegetables are added according to local taste. Some variations include chilies, green peppers and herbs, and you can practically use any vegetable. When making this recipe, use Persian cucumbers rather than massive English ones. The Persian ones have a more intense cucumber flavour, and their inside is less watery. For tomatoes, you can use any variety of vine-ripened tomatoes, though choose ones that are firm, not soft. We use plum tomatoes when they're in season, or cherry tomatoes when they're not. Then for onions, use any kind you want, though I'd recommend spring onions or red onions as they're less intense. Let's first make the Egyptian version called Salata Baladi, which means local or village salad. This is the simplest one to make with the least ingredients. Take 2 cucumbers and slice them in half, then into quarters and chop them into chunky pieces. Aim for about half a centimeter in size, which gives you a nice chewable texture. Next, take 2 to 3 tomatoes and dice these to the same size. Generally, you want to keep the vegetables consistently sized so you have a uniform texture. Add those to the bowl as well and you should have a roughly equal ratio of cucumber and tomato. For onion, I'm using 2 spring onions, though you can use half a red onion instead. Slice the white and light green part of the onion into rounds, about the same size as the other vegetables. Some people also add green peppers or green chilies to Salata Baladi and also parsley and coriander, though I'm doing this one without them. When all your vegetables are in a bowl, slice a lemon in half and juice the whole thing onto the salad. That should be about 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, so if you have smaller or weaker lemons, consider using more. You'll also add 3 teaspoons of white vinegar, which is a signature Egyptian flavour. For seasonings, add half a teaspoon each of salt and pepper and then mix the salad. Give it a good stir so the spices and acids are well distributed, then let it sit so the liquid can develop. After about 4 minutes, this is what the salad looked like. There is plenty of salad water at the bottom of the bowl and it's packed full of delicious flavour. I'd recommend you serve and eat the salad within 20 minutes of dressing it so the vegetables are still crunchy. Personally, I love this basic salad. It's nostalgic, delicious and simple enough that I could eat it every day. In Iran, they make a version of the salad called Shirazi Salad, which has a finely diced texture. The small vegetable cubes aren't just pleasing on the eyes, but they're also satisfying to chew on. This time around the acid comes from limes, and we'll use red onions and parsley as well. Some people add green peppers, but we chose not to. First up, you need to cut your vegetables into very small cubes. I started with 2 cucumbers, and the best method I found was to cut each cucumber into thin slices lengthways. After that, stack them and cut them into long strips that are cuboid in shape. Finally, you stack the strips and chop across them to dice them into small cubes. These aren't perfectly even cubes, but they work pretty well. For our 2 tomatoes, they can be sliced the same way, though I'd recommend you dice each layer individually as they can be really slippery when stacked. You want about 1.5 times as much cucumber as tomato, so add more or less if needed. In terms of onion, we're using half of a red onion, which I diced using the same technique, giving me small cubes like this. Now we need to finely mince about 10 grams of parsley. Before we do that, remove the leaves from the big stalks as they don't have a nice texture. Once you've removed them, roll the leaves into a cylinder and then slice the leaves into strips. When you have something like this, run through it back and forth with your knife a few times until you've minced the parsley to a fairly small size. Before we dress the salad, we need to juice a couple of limes. Traditionally, this salad is made with verjuice, which is the juice of unripe grapes that is pretty acidic, but in this place we can use lime juice instead. Add half a teaspoon each of salt and pepper to the salad vegetables, then follow that up with half a teaspoon of dried mint. Pour over 3 tablespoons of lime juice and then 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Add in 2 tablespoons of the finely chopped parsley and then mix that all to combine. Once you've evenly distributed the ingredients, you'll have a wonderful mosaic of a salad that looks like this. Pretty quickly it will form a salad water that is packed full of flavour, and your Shirazi salad is now ready. I personally think any salad can be leveled up by cutting it to this very fine texture, and combined with the flavour of the salad water, this salad is just brilliant. The next version of this salad is a Palestinian version that is similar to the Egyptian one, but with a tahini sauce instead. We'll add red onion and parsley to this, and you can also add green chilies or green peppers. Dice your 2 cucumbers and 2 tomatoes the same way we did for the Egyptian one. We're using half a red onion, which should be diced to a medium size. Make sure to break up the layers of the onion, then add them into the bowl with 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley. You then make a tahini dressing, and we chose to make our yogurt based one, but you can make a water based one instead. Add 35 grams of yogurt to a bowl with 25 grams of tahini and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You also add half a teaspoon each of salt and pepper, then a quarter of cumin and an optional quarter of chili powder. I forgot to add my garlic, so after briefly mixing, I grated in about 1 clove of garlic. Then I mixed it again until the sauce was well combined. You should end up with a creamy mixture like this. Don't thin it out anymore as the vegetables will still release loads of liquid. Now pour the dressing onto your salad and mix it together for a couple of minutes until it's well combined. In the end, your vegetables should be well coated in the tahini sauce, and that will thin out from the salad water. I wasn't expecting much from this salad, but it definitely surprised me with how delicious it was. This is definitely one you should try. Those are just some of the many recipes for this salad that is made all over the Middle East. We previously even made a Sudanese version with peanut butter in the Sudanese breakfast video, and there's plenty more versions of this that we haven't made yet. If you make a salad like this or think of a good version, let me know in the comments. If you prefer salads with more going on, then I suggest you check out this recipe for one of the best salads ever.